Welcome to Tuesdays with Dr. Tracy. Yes, the what it thinks on Tuesdays with Dr. Tracy.
Okay.
Oh, oh, oh. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, I think I'm really enjoying this. Got a little dance in my spirit, I guess. Well, I was like, welcome to this week's episode and welcome to 2024. Can you all believe it? 2024. This year, I'm really excited because I actually remember 2024. I mean, actually, I'm cognizant of going into 2024. Let me say it that way. 2022 going into 2023, I do not remember at all. It was a total blur. Like the years were like merged together. So actually 2022, 2023 seemed like that was one long year as opposed to 2 years. I can remember 2021 going into 2022, but now 2022 going into 2023. So I'm very excited to just be able to be at a place where I'm like, okay, it is good. 2022, 2023 was a little different because my mom had just passed, in July of 2022. So I think it was just still deeply grieving. Everything was numb, just wasn't too much aware of anything and definitely wasn't in a celebratory mood. So I just don't recall. It's like a blur. All of that time period is really a blur. It's like it's almost blocked out. So coming to 2024 and looking back, the only thing that I could say was thank you, Lord. I'm so serious. Just a thankful, very grateful heart for the Lord just keeping me, not just physically. We always think asking God to like protect us and to give us good health and strength. And those things are important. But I was glad that the Lord actually kept me mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, because that was a lot of emotional turmoil. Grief can be a lot of emotional turmoil, right? So I was like, wow, just that experience of actually, a new year, a new beginning is something great to look forward to. And it also gives a sense of hope about what is to come, what the future holds. So I'm excited for this year, and I hope you all too. I hope you all had a wonderful New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Actually, I spent New Year's Eve here at Sankofa at a special event given by Positive Productions, INC, which is the like 501c3 for Sankofa. And one of the things that they were doing was that they have presented their Sankofa Film Institute. And so the first cohort of students actually were able to share their scripts, which were absolutely amazing. I was able to see like a PDSA that they put together, a short scene that they put together. So to see the work that they're doing is absolutely phenomenal. Halle, Garima Sharikiana, his wife, um, Alan Ferguson, and let's see, I believe Malcolm Moore, Daniel Williams, just so many within the film industry who have helped to nurture the students were able to join in the event the other night, and it was absolutely wonderful. They were just sharing how grateful and thankful they were for the different ones actually taking time and investing in them and showing them the various things about filming, whether it was writing a script, telling your own story, or learning how to work lighting, to give someone a different appearance or to give different angles to make someone look tall or to make someone look shorter. It's very fascinating, the many different things that they learn, but you get to see community at work and to see them come together collectively. They also did a libation to honor their ancestors and to give thanks before starting the program on Christmas Eve, and they had a music, like a jam session, and they had various instruments playing, and it was absolutely phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed being a part of the space. We also had some good food from Crown Bakery, so it was just a very exciting experience, a lot of love, a lot of laughter. So actually, my Christmas Eve was amazing because the first part of that was spent at church, which was great, and then they had a fellowship with plenty of food after church, and they did various games. We had the Guess Who was a tag that was on your back. It could be a person, the name of a show, anything. And you had to try to figure out who was on your back or what was on your back. So that was pretty fun. We played, the other game was categories. Oh, I sucked at that. But it was a lot of fun playing, anyways, with family and church members. So, yeah, I just had a great Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, laughing, a lot of laughter and being surrounded by a lot of love. And I couldn't think of a better way to like bring in the new year. So I am grateful. Hopefully you all can share some of the things that you did on New Year's Eve to bring in the new year, or what you may be doing, or what you did the following day on the 1st, if you want to. I invite you to share. But then, as a skip forward, it's like, oh, you come into the new year, and it's like so many different things that happened. They tell me it was an earthquake this morning here, even in DC, that could be felt, and in Maryland. And the funny thing is that I felt something and dreamt that it was an earthquake, and I thought it was part of my dream, that it was just dream world. But sometimes it shows you that dream world is not too far detached from reality at times. So I was really shocked to find that out once I woke up. I was like, man, I really felt, because I felt something. I was like, man, that's an odd feeling. I said, man, I felt like an earthquake. But I was like, nah, I'm tripping, because I'm sleepy. I'm thinking I may have woken up out of my sleep or something like that. But no, it was actually something that I think quite a few people were experiencing. So that was that. So I am really looking forward to 2024, all the exciting things that I know that God has in store as we all begin to move closer to our purpose, right? With great anticipation and hope, which I think is very, very important. And as I was thumbing through, on social media, yeah, that thing is addictive. I swear, but it be so much wild stuff out there. It's really hard, like combing through what's legit and what's not. People just be putting things out there. People just be saying anything, so you don't know. But one thing that I did see that I know was true was the resignation of Claudine Gay at Harvard University. That she resigned, and that broke my heart. I am glad that she resigned for her own peace, okay? Because your peace is important. Your peace is paramount. And for her to stay or push through that situation, as traumatic as I can imagine that it has been for her and all that it has put her and her family through, I'm glad that she has decided to do what's best for her at this point, because if an institution is not protecting you, okay, then why then expend all of your energy and your life's breath and everything else on trying to make that stand? And so I'm glad she opened the door. She has made history, and so for that, I think as a Black woman, I believe we can say that we are grateful. However, I'm also reminded that it is not a PWI that validates who we are. Okay, we are validated because of who God created us to be. We're validated because of our humanity, But it goes back to this whole thing of intersectionality. While Kimberly Crenshaw may have coined the term intersectionality, it is nothing new dealing with gender, race, and class. And the Black woman always having to deal with this, especially in the workforce, whether it's fighting to make sure she's getting equal pay. We've heard Traci Henson talk about that in recent days, and other ones like Monique and a few other ones have come out as well about their pay. Though they are amazing actresses with great credibility, awards and things like that, still they're having to fight for equal pay. And somebody's like, well, what's the point? They're getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, $10,000. But if that is not the fair wage for everyone, doing the same thing, then we have a problem. So until Black women can make, and it's a shame that white males, especially white older males, have to be the standard. That should not be the case. But until she can make the same, doing the same thing as he does, then we haven't arrived to where we need to be. I would then have to argue what level of freedom do we really have, or what level of equality is that equality? I don't believe that is. So always people are like, why do you fight for Black women? Or, I love Black women. Why? Because of this very reason. One, because I am a Black woman, raised by Black women, protected by Black women, fed by white women. By Black women, sorry. That Black women have been there, and they have been the foundation and the pillars of our community. It's not negating Black men. Black men, in many cases, have been there as well, especially depending on the family dynamic. But I can say mine, with my mother being a single mother, and as well as some of my aunts and cousins as well being single Black mothers, I've always seen that strength come from that community, whether married or unmarried. Both of my grandmothers were married. Okay, so I've had both. But the point is just to see that level of strength and love and sisterhood has always been very valuable and very important. And we have to continue to protect that and fight for that. And I think as Black women, we have to do everything we can to make sure that those generations after us will be able to have that fair wage, that they don't have to worry about white men making more than them for the same job that they're doing, or white women making more than them, or a Black male making more than them. Okay, because they should be paid according to their abilities on their jobs, not according to their skin color, not according to their gender. And that is a problem. That's when we talk about that intersectionality of race, class, and gender clashing and coming together to create a situation for the Black woman. And don't add in other things like ageism, okay, or disability, and we can go on and on and on. And for some women, especially if you bring in the LGBTQI plus community, then for them that can add another level of marginalization. So as we continue to see that level of marginalization happen in our community, we have to fight for women like we see with President Claudine Gay at Harvard. Yes, I'm still saying president because she is deserving of her flowers now. To be the one. And it's always hard when you break the ceiling. It's always hard when you're the first person to actually step into something. But again, this term intersectionality isn't new. This is something that Black women have been speaking out about and fighting for a long time. I think the first person noted to speak out as it relates to this may have been Maria Stewart. And I'm going to say probably around 1832 or something, I believe that was. And she actually addressed a mixed crowd regarding Black women. And it was always this thing of pushing to make sure that we are seen in a certain light or a certain way so that we can be embraced within Western culture, especially here in America, and dealing with slavery and how, of course, how our image was degraded, how we were dehumanized through the slavery experience after being kidnapped from the shores of Africa. It's very interesting to see this struggle to constantly maintain and push for the image to be seen as human. And we have to do better to be able to fight against that within the entire community. Especially in the Black community, Black men supporting Black women supporting Black men. That is something that we must do, we must continue to do. It is so very important. And then outside of the community, of the Black community, we need to identify, and I'm going to speak of that from a global perspective, a Pan-African perspective. When I look at Africa and those who are of African descent, or throughout the African diaspora all over the world. That we must do more and come together to make sure we are well represented when we're fighting against white supremacy and oppression, exploitation, and so on and so forth. And the images, the propaganda that has gone forth to paint us in a certain light. So this is why it's so important that we tell our stories, right? That we write our own narratives so that people will understand who we are. And it's not just for us to understand who we are within the Black community, and that is very critical and important. But beyond the Black community, it is important that white people understand who we are, because again, most people only understand us through stereotypes and through other stories told by white scholars and so on and so forth, politicians, whomever, who have created a certain level of it is propaganda, even within their scholarly work, to present Black women and Black men in a way. That's why it's very important when we talk about how we were seen as breeders and how we were sexually exploited and economically exploited. And we can go on and on why it is so important that we present ourselves in a certain way. In our storytelling, or in how we just present ourselves and what it is that we do. And so many Black women stood and sacrificed their whole lives to make sure that while we understand we're not a monolith, but that they fought to make sure that we were seen for who we were as divine human beings created in the image and likeness of God, just like any other race or ethnicity of people represented on the entire globe. So that's something we have to continue to fight for. But I think that leads into another issue as we're looking at still genocide, or when we're looking at police brutality, and when we're looking at what may be considered race wars or ethnic wars and so on and so forth. I think our biggest issue, they talk about, anti-Semitism, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad. No, I think we have to get to the core of the issue. What's bad is someone being anti-human. And that's where we have to really get to the nuts and bolts of this thing, because the issue is that people are looking at other people as being less than human. So, because when I don't consider you as being human, it's easy for me to justify taking your life. It's easy for me to justify sexually harming you or exploiting you. I can do anything to you because I don't value you as a human being. I've seen some people give more compassion to a dog, to an animal, okay, than they do another human life. And so I think that is the biggest thing, that we must look at our humanity. And we have to look at ourselves, first. And then we have to look out at others. The only reason why I can walk up and take someone else's life is because I don't value them. And I don't value them as human. There's no greater myth than this myth or the dynamic of inferior and superior. I don't even, that is propaganda. There is no inferior race, because we know race is a social construct, and there is no inferior ethnic group of people. That is just ridiculous. Everybody was created by God, and we all have different gifts, talents, and abilities that we can work together to create a better global and social experience for everyone, or we can continue to be stupid and do it the way that it's being done. So I think that we have a lot of work to still do within our own communities, and definitely across the globe, as we push towards this higher understanding. And I really don't think it's higher. I think it's very basic understanding of humanity, okay, and treating others based on that love of self, that love of other human beings. I think is very critical. Which I think is another important thing going into, that you start talking about love and like, oh my God, But it is like, oh my God. But I saw something today that was very beautiful. I think the gentleman's name is Mustafa Ali. I don't want to mess up his name. I think it's Mustafa Sandiako Ali. But he had a beautiful message out there. It was the first thing I saw when I opened up Twitter today. And it was about loving yourself and how that love is then reflected in our relationships one with another. And I just thought that that was important. He had a longer excerpt there. We can't share all of that here at this moment, but it was enough to stop, and I thought it was a very beautiful message. So much so that I reposted it and commented to him about it because I think it's very important to, love oneself, and then in so doing, being able to share that love with other people. And going into a new year, you want to be able to do that. And I think it's a place for learning to love yourself so that you're setting up boundaries, so that you're not just allowing people to treat you any type of way. Sometimes, people take you for granted. So, and so you have to be mindful of that. Loving yourself enough to say no, love yourself to say, no, I'm not going to allow you to treat me like this. And sometimes it's not that someone is necessarily, in some cases, treating you bad. It's just that it's not what works for you. So being able to even state that, I think is very important. Important as part of our maturity in growing up and learning to love ourselves. And I think that learning to love ourselves is a lifetime journey. You know, I think we make up and break up with ourselves actually. The time because we have to learn what we like, what we don't like. And sometimes you don't realize that until you're actually interacting with others. That you like, oh, wait a minute, you notice your own shortcomings and you may notice that of others. So you're like, you know what? Nah, that ain't gonna work. And so you have to learn to make that adjustment or modification to yourself and to your others. And sometimes we can be hard on ourselves. And we have to learn to grow through our experiences. And sometimes we can be too hard on others. But again, I think that's part of learning to love ourselves and others and part of that maturity of growing up and being in relationships with other people. And I'm not just talking about, boo thing, bae thing, situation thing, married thing, I don't know, whatever thing you on. Okay. But it's also talking about parental relationships, your relationship with your siblings, with your friends, within your community, on your job. It doesn't matter. So I think that is important because I think how you see yourself and how you think about life, I think that's reflected in how you treat other people. So you have to choose what you're going to bring to 2024. You're going to have to choose what you're going to bring to the table in your relationships, in your partnerships, in your dealings, whatever it is. And I encourage you to bring more love and light, to those places and areas. Because most people fumble and stumble in the dark, okay? And sometimes you might have to be that source of life and light to help them see their way through, you know? It's not about being better than, okay, anyone. And I hope that goes back to that same inferior to superior type of mentality. But I think it goes into growing, and as we learn and grow and become mature, then we can share those things with others so that they can learn and mature and grow, right? And so it's like a garden that we all can share in and have a responsibility in cultivating. And you just have to choose what your role is going to be. And I'm getting nervous, y'all. Karma is real. Sowing what you reap is real. Universal law. I don't care how you define this thing. What you put out there will come back to you. And so I'm pretty funny about that. And so I've been in trouble a lot because I will go above and beyond to try to see the good in someone. Even once somebody maybe you could say in a sense, maybe even tell me or show me. I was just like, but I see your better qualities. I see that. And you very well may. But at some point, you still have to be mindful of, okay, I may see these better qualities or points, but I can't allow you to mistreat me in the process of you growing. to that point, you know, where you're able to see those things for yourself and see that it is better that you behave in a certain particular way and so on and so forth. Because sometimes that could allow you to present yourself as a doormat and you don't want to be seen as a doormat. Or, you know, again, people take you for granted. And I know I get bad sometimes because I see things in black and white. I don't do well in gray areas at all. I don't function well in gray areas. So it's like for me, once I get to a certain point, then that's it. Because I only either see it in black or white. That is not the best thing at all times. Just in some areas, in some situations, you may need to see and understand the gray area. So that's a limitation on my end. So I have to do better at protecting myself, even while being able to love someone and seeing them grow. You know, but still protecting my sanity and my heart during that process. And that's not just talking, like I said, about interpersonal relationships as far as with a lover, but that is with friends, that is with family, that is with coworkers, however you learn that in every aspect of life. So that is something that I think is very important that we all must consider. And I want to know what is on the agenda for 2024 as far as traveling. I've seen some amazing pictures. One of the ladies that I follow on Instagram, her name is going to come to me in a moment. She is usually here. She comes through Sankofa sometimes. She's an alum of Howard. Oh, goodness. But anyways, I think she was just in Zanzibar. The pictures were amazing. They were having a wonderful time. So I'm like, oh man, so now she has me thinking like, okay, what is going to be my next travel? What am I going to plan for 2024? So you all have to let me know what are some of these destinations you may have on the horizon or that you're even thinking about or dreaming about and if you're gonna start saving or trying to figure out a way to go to that location. But I've heard wonderful things and I would definitely love to go to Zanzibar. So you all have to let me know what you're thinking. I have also wanted to go to the Greek Isles. I want to go to Alexandria, Egypt. So I want to go and see the various artifacts that they have there. I want to go to the library there because of its history and popularity. And I wanted to go to the Delta. So many things I want to do over on that side that I haven't been able to do, visiting Cairo and Memphis and Luxor and Aswan. So I want to be able to do that, but we'll see. And I want to go to Italy. I want to go to some other African countries other than the ones that I've already been to. I would like to go to Ghana. I want to go to Senegal. I want to go to Nigeria. I want to travel. I wish I could go on a trip and kind of just fly around just for a little bit and go to the different countries and maybe spend a few weeks doing that and then, head back onto the States. But that's expensive. And then I have to find a group that's going and it's going to do that. And then finding the time because 3 weeks is a little nice span of time. But definitely thinking about that for the summer. So you all have to share maybe what are some of your traveling goals for 2024. What are some of your relationship goals for 2024? What are some of your financial goals for 2024? I've heard some people speaking of actually purchasing a home this year. They're looking forward to doing that. They've been saving up. We heard others talking about purchasing a car, others changing careers. So, what's in the plans for 2024? I'm looking looking forward to some things that I will be doing that's going to definitely challenge me, and I'm glad and excited about the challenge. Looking forward to it. Hopefully, I'll be done with it by the summer, so that should be good. And I hope some of you all will have that. It's good to stay challenged. I think it's good for my mental muscles to keep the brain functioning and not just being able to read and comprehend, but being able to be creative and innovative and building strategies to be able to approach a certain matter or to build something, to create something, to develop something. These things are so important and so exciting and engaging. So I like doing things like that, and it helps for me. It helps keeping my mind sharp because it gives me my creative edge, but then it gives me my administrative edge, then it gives me the academic part. So it gives me like all of that all in one little nutshell, and I get really excited when I can do things like that because it's like these different areas or skill sets that I have, I get to use them at once, for one project, and that is a very, very stimulating for me. And I'm like, yes. So I'm looking forward to that. Uh, I also wanted to bring up, I know I started off talking about PPI, the Positive Production IC here, but they are still, if you're interested in donating or supporting that community effort, please do so. And this again is to help Halle finish his documentary. It's a 10-hour documentary, so it's 5 parts, 2 hours each. The name of the movie is called Black Lions, Roman Wolves. It is great. It is about the Ethiopian Thai War, and I got to see, oh my God, I got to see different excerpts from the movie on not Christmas Eve. I think it was that Saturday. Yeah, so that Saturday, and it was absolutely amazing. So if you are interested in seeing this documentary, there was so much about Ethiopian history that I was not aware of, as well as the ties. Well, we're most often aware that there are ties between the Black community here and different movements in Africa. But to see what role Black Americans played in their relationship with Ethiopia, even some signing up to go over and fight in their war in I believe it was 1936, I believe it was absolutely amazing. So it's so much history in and around that. I mean, from of course theater, the fine arts portion, but then you see the political aspect, you see the spiritual there. It's some things in this movie is going to blow your mind. The military strategies used and deployed, it is absolutely amazing. So if you're really interested in seeing something like that or seeing that work done. And as I was talking about earlier about the importance of us sharing our own stories, telling our, writing our narratives and things like that, telling our history so that we can share these with our children and our children's children and so on and so forth. Films like that is so important. So I hope you all will be encouraged to give to that. And it's a small thing. You give how much you want. It's up to you. You can go to sankofa.com and you can see how to donate if you're interested. I'm sure at some later point they will be giving or having PSAs to be able to share more about the movie. But again, it is a documentary. It's a 5-part series, 10 hours total. And any financial help you can give to help support that effort would be great. It is costly to do these things. They have done as much as they can with that, but it's going to cost some more. But they're still working towards their end goal. So it is a community effort. It's a collective effort. So definitely, we encourage you to support the movie. I really, you all are going to be excited. I was so excited when I was sitting there and watching. Me and others, they had different people to come in to see. Even Dr. Anthony Browder was here. He came in to see and to watch, different parts of this film. So, hey, look, it's going to be great. I can't wait until it's released. I think they're shooting for sometime this year, 2024. So, see, 2024 is a year of great things happening. So, I'm really looking forward to that taking place. And, you know, if you have things that you have going on, please share that with the community so that we can support you as well. That is part of community, being able to support one another. Sometimes we're able to give time. Sometimes we're able to give talents and skills. Sometimes we're able to give monetary blessings. But however you feel you're able to donate, we encourage you to do that. But then, you know, let us know. And so we can support you. And let me know too if you want to ever come on and talk about a community work that you're doing. You know, you can reach out to Michaela here at Sankofa. You can leave her a message. You can email her or leave her a message, and we'll get back with you. She'll get back with you, let you know if it's okay. You know, if it's something that we can do because we want to be supportive of the community here. Sankofa is a wonderful community. We have so many people that are coming in and out of here who are scholars, who are doing other great works in the community. They have different types of foundations and programs and all these wonderful things. And we want others to know what you're doing. And we want to be that support for you. So let us know. Let me know. If you see me, let me know. And we can definitely hook something up so that you can come on and chat with us about those things. So in this new year, we want to be able to bring more people on. To be able to talk. It's about a conversation. Well, it's always been about a conversation with the Sankofa community. But you know, like myself, people are camera shy, even when they don't see anyone in front of them. It's just the fact of knowing, like, oh my God, I'm gonna be on TV. Because that's how I feel every time I'm getting on, you know, like, but I do it. So we want to encourage you to come on and do this too and have this conversation so that we'll know what's going on in our community. And I've heard some amazing things. People have stopped me to tell me the different things that they are doing. And this was before this was even applied for. And so we definitely want you to come on and talk about that because you are amazing. And we have a lot of Black women that's out here with a lot of foundations who doing a lot of stuff in the community, but we don't talk about it for the very reason we were talking about those things earlier. So we want to be able to show you some love, okay, and give you some screen time so that people get a chance to know you, know who you are, and what it is that you're doing. We have brothers out here that's doing some amazing work as well. We want to be able to showcase you too and let people know what you're out here doing. So please connect with us so we can connect with you, so you can connect with the people. And we hope that you will come in to Sankofa and visit. There's always something going on. You hear stuff talking in the background now, right? Because this is a family and community place where people come, they talk, they laugh, but there are book talks that go on here. If you're not familiar with Sankofa, there are book talks that go on here. We have scholar hours that go on where people come and talk about their research or books that they've written. They have various events for students. You know, children. They have book clubs here. Let's see, we have some community groups that meet here to talk about various issues. You name it. We even have karaoke. We have karaoke here. We have open mic nights. So there's a little something for everybody. And then there's an amazing cafe that's here as well. We have classes, hard classes that are given. We have the Film Institute that has been established. So we have book giveaways. There is something for everybody. And we want you to be a part of this. You are our family, so we want you to be a part of it. We want you to feel the love, but we also want to be a part of your life. We want to be a part of your community. And so this goes, it's reciprocal. So this is how we build community. This is how we support one another. This is how we support each other's businesses. This is how we move money around in our community. But this is also how we move love and support around in our community in empowerment. We've just gone through Kwanzaa, celebrating the seven principles, which is about all this collaboration and collective work and working together. So I want to make sure that we are doing that more and more, initially at least with Tuesdays with Dr. Traci. So hit me up, or as they like to say, pull up, and we can have that conversation. And I look forward to seeing you soon. So we're going to let you all continue to listen because some of you all started back to work today, right? So the vacation is over. And then some will start back next week, depending on what line of work you're in. But hey, know that this year is going to be great. We're sending you much love and encouragement. Stay hopeful. Keep your head up. Know that greater is coming. And if you haven't heard it today, you are loved. If you haven't heard it today, you are beautiful. If you haven't heard it, you're handsome, you're wonderful, you are amazing. You are a gift from God, okay? Yes, I'm talking about you. You have purpose. You have a lot to offer to our community, to the world, which is why you are here. So continue to believe in yourself, believe in your people, continue to do the good you know to do, continue to do the positive things that you're doing in your community. And if you haven't been doing anything, then it's always time to start. Okay? So much love to you. I'm sending you big hugs, many kisses, and lots of love. And until next week, all right? See ya.